Hey, everybody. Some major technical difficulties this morning. It's sort of fitting since it's April Fool's. Yeah. I'll explain what happened in a second. About 5 minutes before I hit the go live button, and then I didn't realize it. So I thought I could pause it, but it stopped it and ruined the link. So, as in life, shit happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record the workout as if we were writing the workout and then send out the link, and just apologize for messing that one up. All right, let's go. We're going to warm up 10 minutes. I'm going to get started here. Reminds me a lot of races. Things always go wrong in races, or at least never quite how you planned. Once in a while, you have a perfect race. And even in the moment, you may not think it was a perfect race or close to perfect, but looking back on it, you appreciate it more. I'm going to send a quick text to somebody who was going to join the bike ride today. And then I'll be back. All right. So yeah, things go wrong. And I'm sort of laughing at the irony of it being April Fool's. So it's like the technology wizards played an April Fool's joke on me. But can't just throw in the towel, right? Life gets hard sometimes, especially right now. We're all dealing with a lot of uncertainty. And, sometimes it's good to laugh at ourselves. So joke's on me. All right, moving on. So 35-minute workout. Main set is going to be 3 sets of 5-minute blocks. 3 minutes are going to be, if you have power, between 75 to 85% FTP. So you can think of this as a tempo ride. 75 to 85% of FTP is generally considered where you would ride for a half Ironman effort, 70.3 effort. With perceived exertion, I like to think of it as this way. 75% is about slightly uncomfortable. 85% is more uncomfortable, but not hard. So make sure you recognize the difference between what's uncomfortable and what's hard. For this workout, we want to stay away from what's hard. We did that on Monday. So lower intensity. Using the words moderate, moderately hard, hard. There's a range between moderate and moderately hard, and there's a range between moderately hard and hard. And so I like to think of it as this in between. So moving from moderately hard to maybe moderately hard plus, but not yet hard, right? So you can do these 3 sets in a couple ways. You can do them consistently. So if you go at 80%, or you go at what you might say just below uncomfortable, you can try to be consistent and doing the same each 3 sets. You could do them where you progress. Go ahead and shift into maybe one gear harder. We're just going to slowly ramp up from our easy to moderate warm up. So you could do a progression. You could do it, and if you have power, it's easier. 75% FTP, number 1. Number 2, 80%. Number 3, 85%. Right? You could do them in a, degression, or where you go 85, 80, 75. The thinking of that would be that, as you get tired, it'll be a little bit harder to maintain the 85. Okay. So we're doing 3 sets, 3 minutes on, 2 minutes recovery. So in those 2 minutes, make sure you get some water, some hydration. spin out the legs, easy. Okay. Couple quick thoughts on nutrition and hydration and cycling. You can, if you want to, it's easy to find. You can really go deep in how much you weigh, how much sweat you put out, how much you need to replace. Same thing calorically, because that can depend on your body weight. It also depends on your level of exertion. It'll depend if you're outside on climate conditions, humidity, temperature, things like that. It can depend on the duration of your workout. But since I tend to coach a lot more beginning and intermediate athletes, I like to try to make it simple. And here's my simple rules for cycling. And then you can always start with the simple, and then you can increase or decrease based on your experience. So general rule of thumb for me is 1 bike bottle per hour. I like to use Scratch, which has a few calories, but has electrolytes. And then 200 calories per hour. So if I'm going on a 3-hour bike ride, I'll lay out my calories. I might look at my Scratch and say I have 150 calories in Scratch. So I need another 450 calories, and that might come from packets of goo or shot blocks or maybe some homemade things. Now my CompuTrainer just went away. So the technology leprechauns are effing with my head. Calories, I lay that out. I figure out where those calories are coming from. And then as I'm riding, I'm looking at the time and say, I'm coming up on an hour into my bike ride. If I don't have my 200 calories in, I make sure I eat them, right? And so I try to space it out, 200 calories per hour, 1 bottle of hydration per hour. Okay, so we're a minute or so behind the video for timing, but I'm about 6:30 in to our 10-minute warm-up. So if your cadence has been kind of low, let's bring that up. Hopefully you have a fan on. If you're watching this video later, pause it, put a fan on, get a towel, make sure you have hydration. A couple notes on how you can extend the workout. Looks like there's a couple people on riding live. So if you want to make it a 45-minute workout or an hour workout, as soon as we finish the 3 main sets of 5-minute blocks, 3 minutes on, 2 minutes off, go ahead and extend it right there after the last 2-minute easy to an aerobic pace, so a conversational pace. And you can insert a 10-minute block, a 15-minute block, and then just make your last 5 to 10 minutes easy recovery, right? So you got a 15-minute block of aerobic work, you got a 50-minute workout. Another way to expand it, if you would be to change up the workout. You could do 4 sets, or you could do 5 sets. So when I'm done with my 3 sets, if you want to do 2 more sets, you could do it that way. Some of you may be wanting a higher intensity workout, and what you could do, if you have the experience of doing more high intensity workouts, you could do the 3 minutes instead of doing it moderately hard plus / uncomfortable. You could bump that up to hard, / very hard. So 100% FTP, 105% FTP. And that would be a really hard, high intensity ride. So you're welcome to do that. I think it's always critical to understand the purpose of the workout for your training. And so the reason why this one intensity-wise is lower is because we did a higher intensity workout on Monday. So if you missed that, You want to do a little higher intensity today? Totally up to you. Okay. We're 9 minutes into our warm-up. We're going to continue our warm-up, we're going to do 5 sets, 30 seconds, high cadence, 30 seconds easy spin. The reason for the high cadence is a lot of times people have a tendency to cycle at like 75 cadence. And we want to work on getting that up to closer to 90. When we do this high cadence work, we get used to the higher cadence, then it makes riding more normal or typical, 80, working up to 85, right? So a little bit of high intensity work will gradually bring our cadence up in our normal day-to-day riding, okay? Going in 5 seconds for 30 seconds. Ready? Here we go. Okay. Bring your cadence up. Let's get those legs turning over faster. Press your butt into your seat. Try to minimize the bounce in your shoulders. If you have a mirror in front of you, that can be helpful. And if you don't, do a YouTube live video because you can see yourself. And then you'll know. All right, 30 seconds. I was going to say 30 seconds easy. Then you'll know the embarrassment that comes with doing a YouTube live video. All right, number 1. About 12 more seconds easy. I need to bring my cadence up because I get talking and I don't go as hard. Here we go, 30 seconds. Okay, this time I'm gonna work on talking and bringing my cadence up. I have lap cadence on my Garmin. So I selected a field called lap cadence, and it will show me when I hit the lap button, my average cadence for that lap. So when you see me hit this button here, that's me starting the timer over. But the cool thing is it'll start my power over, start my heart rate over, start my cadence over. Okay, 30 seconds easy. That's number 2. So what I'm doing when I'm looking at my average cadence is each time looking at it and try to be the same or try to raise it. Definitely trying to getting it up towards 100. So it's kind of important that you get out of the gate pretty fast since it's an average and the time is short. But like for me, that last one was 94. Okay, here we go. Number 3. You may also need to play around with your gearing. Sometimes it can be too hard when you're doing high cadence, so easier gear, or maybe go harder. All right, it's 3 down. Hit 96 that time for an average. You can see probably for you too that the breathing starts to come up a little bit. Oh, 36, here we go. Number 4. I got caught daydreaming. Three seconds. All right, relax. One more. Whew. So I got up to 98 that time. For those that have coached with me, you know that I'm a huge fan of using your lap button on your GPS, which I just call it a Garmin. Most people have a Garmin, but there are other brands too. But that lap button just gives you so much feedback in real time and afterwards looking at the data. Number 5, here we go. Getting to 100. Come on. Oh man, barely made it. 30 seconds easy. It was at 99 and turned over to 100 on the last second. Okay. All right, so in 20 seconds, we're going to go 3 minutes, somewhere between moderately hard to moderately hard plus, somewhere between slightly uncomfortable to uncomfortable, but not hard unless you've made that choice to do so. But that's different than the workout. So here we go. Ready? 3 minutes. Starting my timer now. Moderately hard to moderately hard plus. Slightly uncomfortable to uncomfortable. If you know your FTP, you can multiply it by 80%, and then you can look at those watts. So give you an idea of where you're at. Mine would be 185-ish would be 80%. So as I look at my lap power, right now the average is 170. I'm gonna shift to a little harder gear, work on getting it up to 185. At the same time, I'm monitoring my perceived exertion. How does it feel? From a talking standpoint, I should get to be the point where it starts to become broken conversation. I should definitely still be able to get out a couple words, but not a steady stream of conversation. All right, so turn up your music. I'll shut up for 2 minutes. Fifteen seconds. 10. 3, 2, 1. 2 minutes easy. So my average was 188. I didn't look at my average heart rate. So it's probably about 146. So that's what it is now. But I can use average heart rate as well. So I know that when I race an Olympic distance, my average heart rate would get up to about 150. And I could look back at previous 70.3 efforts and see what my average heart rate was in the race, and then bring that data into my indoor training. Maybe I haven't done a 70.3, so I can start using my indoor training to correlate perceived exertion to heart rate and start to get an idea. As I was doing that, so make sure you're in easy gear, spin it out. As I was doing that, I was asking myself, is this an effort that I could do a 70.3 at? And to be honest, I was about 87% of FTP probably on my average. And no, that's not right. It was about 83% FTP, but that was probably a little more than I could maintain. So for me, that's good information, because now when I'm racing, I can look at my heart rate and my average watts and say, based on my training, I know I need to be more down 182. So like right now on this next one, I could either push it just for a harder workout, or I could ride it, let's say 180 watts, and ask myself the same question: how does this feel? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna shoot your ride at 180 watts and see how that feels. We're going in 5 seconds. See if I can maintain that. That's my goal. Okay, here we go. 3 more minutes. Number 2. So get your cadence up. Settle into the gear you want to ride in. You can switch gears too. So I'm also going to see what my average heart rate is when I get my average power up to 180 instead of riding 188, 189. It will probably also mean that I'm riding in an easier gear than I did last time. Because when you keep your cadence the same and you go to 1 gear harder, you go about a half mile an hour faster. All right, I'll give you a minute and a half of silence. All right, we got 30 seconds left for entertainment purposes. My average lap power is 180. My average heart rate is 140, which is definitely lower than 145. My average cadence was 90, just dropped to 89. But at 140 versus 145, I can feel a significant difference, and then it's easier. I can also talk a lot more fluidly. And asking myself the question, I would say yes, I could ride for 3 hours at that intensity / average power / average heart rate. So 2 minutes easy. I stuck in an extra 17 seconds on you. You can thank me later. All right, it's number 2. Sometimes I just like to stand up, shake out my legs. Okay, easy gear, spin it out. We got one more, 3 minutes. I'm gonna do a cool down. I'm kind of always amazed at how quickly a 35-minute workout can go by. I'm also a big fan of when you're not feeling motivated to just get out and do a short workout. One more minute easy. Get yourself hydrated. All right, so heading into the last one, just like you would ask yourself, hopefully, whenever you're doing a workout, it's a great question to ask yourself, what is the purpose of this workout? So we can break that down. What is your purpose for these 3 minutes? Is it to go a little easier? Is it to be consistent? Is it to go harder? I'm going to make my goal above 190 watts. I want to see what my heart rate does. I want to see how it feels. My sub goal is to keep my cadence at 90. Because a lot of times it's easier to raise your watts and lower your cadence, but that can kind of burn out your legs. So we're going in 5 seconds. Okay, here we go. Get your cadence up, and then you can start to select your gear. Pay attention to your perceived exertion. I always like to focus right here. Your lungs will tell you, your esophagus start to burn when it gets hard. How does that feel, right? I always ask people, how does it feel in your lungs when I'm coaching a track workout? My other trick is I will talk to them when they're done with the repeat, mainly because I want to hear how they're talking. If they just go, yeah, it's fine, it's great, it was an easy one. It's like, that's too easy. If they get done with, oh, gosh, and it's 3 minutes before they talk, it's probably too hard, right? So that's a little cheating that I use to figure out how hard people are going. Perceived exertion can be tricky for people. I'll just say the more you use it, the better you get at it. Some people like to use numbers. I found it's easier to communicate with athletes using words like moderate, moderately hard, hard, in between those 2 ranges, uncomfortable, slightly uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Everything's a range, right? It's always gradually gets harder. All right, I got to bear down. I'm at 188 hours power. The cadence is low. Too much talking. Not enough cycling. So my power is at 200. My cadence is 87. So I switched to an easier gear, which will bring my cadence up. It's also going to let my power drop, but I wanted to be, more like 190, 195 anyway. Now I'm 196 average power, 88 cadence, 89. So moving in the right direction. 30 seconds left. Heart rate up to 144. Ten seconds to finish it off. All right, easy. So I'm 193, power 145, heart rate 90 cadence. That's why I like those lat flip functions. It just makes it super easy for me to know in that segment where I'm at. I go back and look at the data. I can break it out. And if I'm coaching you, I really like it when you use lap splits, because then I can look at your data and analyze it. All right, 2 minutes easy, and then it's decision time for you. You go in a 5-minute cool down, get in a 35-minute, 37-minute workout, because I lost track of time. Do you add 15 minutes aerobically, moderate effort, conversational pace, get yourself in a 50-minute workout? Do you abandon what I'm doing and add in 2 more sets of 1 or 2 more sets of 3 minutes on, 2 minutes off? That's going to add 10 minutes. If you do that, I would add at least 5 minutes to your cool down. So now you just added 20 minutes. You're a 55-minute bike ride. Okay? A lot of options for you. You got to make this workout relative to what you need in your training. Okay? So I'm almost like, I did start 15 minutes before we started to get my bike warmed up, get myself warmed up. That's probably why I screwed up the first video. Gave myself too much time. That'll be the excuse I tell myself. But you really can't see it, but my water level is here, right? So I'm 85% of the way done through 1 bottle. I'm 45 minutes into a bike ride. So I'm a little bit, okay, well, that's 2 minutes. We're going to 5 minutes easy, cool down. So I'm a little bit ahead of my 1 bottle per hour. But, without any kind of wind cool down, it's a bit more humid in here. I do have a fan on. So not uncommon that, I might go through more hydration in a situation like this where it's maybe a little hotter, right? But what I don't like to see, and what you see all the time, and I've been guilty of it myself, especially when you're outside and it's not hot, you're an hour into your bike ride, and you've drank that much fluid, right? And then, we're not building up the pattern of the habit of drinking and hydrating, but then we start to become dehydrated. So just make it a habit. 1 bottle an hour. If you're riding a hot, humid place, go more. But even if you're riding the cold, I would still try to stick to the 1 bottle per hour. I remember one year in Hawaii, I went through 12 or 13 bottles in a 6-hour bike ride. That's a bottle every half an hour. But if you've ridden in Hawaii, it's like riding in a sauna. Just standing up to shake my legs out and stretch my back. All right, everybody, just want to say thank you to the few people that found the reposted link. Hopefully, I'll learn from that mistake and won't hit go live 5 minutes before top of the hour. But live and learn, right? We're all human beings. We all make mistakes. That's life. So thanks for sticking with me, and I'll do better not to screw up next time. Next week on Monday and Wednesday, 9 a.m., I am doing 35-minute live workout on Monday. It's going to be like last Monday, where the main set is 6 times a minute and a half hard. Last week we did 6 times a minute, so adding in progressive overload. And then a week from today, we're going to add a 4th set. So 4 times 3 minutes, 2 minutes easy, brings the bike ride up to 40 minutes total. And then, if you guys are enjoying these and you want to continue, I'll just ask that you let me know, make a comment. It's helpful for me because when you don't see comments, you think you're just talking to a computer, and you tend to feel like you're going a little bit crazy and feeling like what you're doing has no value. I would also encourage you, there's so many people putting out live workouts right now that, yoga, strength training, high intensity, I mean, it's just all over the place. Never been easier to find content. But let those people know. Make a comment, send them an email, send them a text, whatever you have to way to communicate with them, because it will help them to continue. And if you want to take it a step further, make your own video and post it. I think you'll know what I mean. The first time I did it, it was in the wintertime, and I was just sweating bullets. It's just so nerve-wracking seeing yourself on camera. I'm not too sure anybody likes it. But anyway, that's my sob story. 10 more seconds, nice and easy. And then hopefully I'll see you next week. And I hope that you guys have a great rest of the week, great weekend. And then we're done. Hit the stop button, save the workout, and have a great day. Thanks for joining me, everyone.